Good afternoon. Welcome to the IMBRSea webinar on how to apply for our program for the next cohort. Before we start, we're giving you some details that we briefly introduce ourselves. So I'm Tim de Pre, and I'm the coordinator of the International Master in Marine Biological Resources.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Micheline de Meij, and I'm also working on the IMBRSea coordination office together with Tim. And a third colleague of us.
Yeah, hi, hello, I'm Louise. I'm also working at the coordination office.
Yeah, good. Anyway, aim of this webinar is that we give you a little bit of information on how to apply for the master program. Okay, what are the major changes compared to the previous edition of the master program, and also things that you could keep in mind in order to be more successful or less successful. A good way to follow this webinar actually is that you open also a screen show that is showing the website of IMBRSea, because a number of things that we're going to mention actually you can also find back easily on our website. So first of all, the IMBRSea program has drastically changed for next academic year compared to the current version of the program, in the sense that we have done a full revision of the different specializations we have, the different modules, and also we made sure that, for example, elements like mobility are organized in a much smoother way, so that you can upfront, before when doing your application, already indicate, okay, which specific tracks that you wish to go. Why did we make some changes? Maybe it's good to briefly illustrate that. On a regular basis, we do an analysis. That's via one of our partners in Ancona, Polytechnic University della Marche, that does an analysis of the job market, in the sense that they analyze all the open vacancies, and on the basis of that we do we specify, okay, which are now the domains in which marine scientists are needed, and on the basis of that we define then different modules that students can study within our program. So if you look at the website, yeah, and if you go to for applicants, then applications, study program, there you will actually have a good overview of how the study program is looking like. So in a first semester, you're able to study at, in total, 6 different universities, which are Ghent University, University of the Algarve in Portugal, University of Western Brittany in France, then we have University of Oviedo, Galway Mayo Institute of Technology, and finally the Polytechnic University della Marche, which is located in Italy. So the first semester consists of 6 obligatory courses that every student has to follow, and that prepares everyone, makes sure that everybody is on the same level in order to go to more specialized modules that are offered in the second and the third semester. Sorry. Important is that, so for you to know, is that so independently where you select your first semester, actually the courses are exactly the same, in the sense that the learning outcomes of every course is exactly the same over the different universities. So what will different, of course, will be different is field work. For example, also probably teachers will illustrate a certain course with local examples. So those kind of small elements will give a bit of a local flavor. Another element which is different in your first semester is the transferable skills course you can take, because you have the opportunity to take one course of 3 ECTS on transferable skills. And so there, that's of course also different per university. So for example, in the University of the Algarve, you can follow a course on scientific diving, while at Ghent University you can do an English language course, or you can also take a course on graphics design and photography. So every university there again has its own local transferable skills course. Okay, first semester runs until Christmas. So actually right this week is for most of the students that are taking the first semester now. the end of the teaching activities. And so in the second semester, which starts around February, you will start with a module of 18 credits that runs until Easter period. And there you have the option to choose among a set of modules at different partner universities. Yeah. In a minute, I will briefly say something on these modules. And then the second semester is closed with a professional practice, also called an internship sometimes, where you go somewhere at one of our associate or full partners, and you will experience what it is to work as a marine professional. These professional practices will count for 12 ECTS, so they are quite an important element of the study program. And it allows you to focus, let's say, on being a marine professional for up to 2 months. Currently, we have students that are doing this all over the world, so that can be at an associate partner in Australia, or you can also stay, of course, in Europe, close to where you have studied, for example, at one of the IMBRSea research stations, for example. So there's a lot of different options available there. During the summer, so between the second and the third semester, you will all take part in a summer school that is organized in the marine station in Tjärnö in Sweden. And depending on the number of students, we organize the summer school one or several times. So it's exactly the same kind of format. So, and then during the summer school, you will do actually field work, but there's also training on communication, there's training on setting up a full project, there's teamwork involved. So there's quite a diverse element. Then the third semester after the summer school, you will actually go again to a university where you select again a module that will also define in which specialization you will be finalizing your program. In the sense that, for example, if you take a module which is more related to communication and outreach, then it will mean that you will also specialize in the end in the specialization ocean literacy and education. If you follow a module which is more related to fisheries, for example, then you will specialize in the fisheries and aquaculture track that we have available. So your third semester mobility will influence also what the final specialization will be on your final diploma. At Christmas, the third semester will end. And it will end also with the end of the online course, because during the third semester, every student will also participate in an online course related to transferable skills dealing with thesis work. And that's from science communication up to data management, legal aspects of research, etc. Then finally, the fourth semester is the semester in which you will do your thesis. And it means that's a personal project that you can do at any of our partners, full or associate. And it's a project actually that you define together with the partner. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so the thesis project, which you will then defend during the annual symposium, which is organized in the end of June. Actually, on the YouTube channel, but also on the website, you can find more information, for example, on what you can expect during such an annual symposium. So that's the full run of the program. Now, if you look more in detail, if you go to for applicants, and there you go to
requirements.
Admission requirements, yeah. Admission requirements, this will give you an idea, okay, what is needed in order to start this master program. First of all, if you want to start this master program, you better have a degree, a bachelor's degree in biology, ecology, environmental sciences, oceanography, let's say the typical kind of scientific background that you need, because it's quite important to say that IMBRSea is a scientific orientated program. So in that sense, yeah, we require you to have a good background in these things. If you're not sure whether your background fits to being admitted to the program, then you can always send an email with a question to the info@imbrsea.eu secretariat. But important is that it's a degree that you have of at least 180 credits, yeah, and you have to make sure that you obtain this degree by September the 1st of 2020. So people that are still studying now, their bachelor's degree, can already apply, yeah, on the condition that they finish their degree by September 2020. So in case you're applying, one of the elements that you have to upload in your application form is a proof of your studies, your bachelor's studies. So what you upload there is a statement from your university that states that you will be able to finish your studies by September 2020. Yeah. Maybe important to mention as well that the study background, it's important in the sense that the different evaluators that will look at your application will look into details. Okay, what are the different courses that you have followed, and these details will then be used also in order to rank you. Yeah, and why do we rank you? Simply because we use a full ranking to also allocate the different small scholarship study grants that we have available in our program, first of all, but also in case needed, for example, for mobility assignments. That's also the ranking that we will be using when assessing your application. Second element is language requirements. So you have to be able to speak English because the full course, every course is in English. And so we require our teachers to be able to speak English, but also require students to be proficient in English. And on the website, you can again see what kind of proofs are accepted. So make sure you have the right proof at the right timing. So in case you don't have the certificate ready by the time of application, because, for example, TOEFL tests are organized at a later moment, yeah, then you can upload at this moment of the application a document, for example, that makes reference to the test for which you have registered and that you will take at a later stage. Important element as well is that in order to be accepted to the program, you will have to make sure that your diplomas, yeah, are legalized in the correct way. And on the website, again, if you look at admission requirements, you will find, okay, in which way this has to be done, because this depends from the country your diploma is originating from. Keep this in mind, because this legislation takes quite some time. Yeah, it's not at the moment of application that you have the legislations to have them complete, but as soon as possible, you will have to send these documents as at the earliest, yeah, by the time you're accepted to the program. For example, once the courses are started, yeah, then you have to be able to show that your diploma is indeed a legal diploma. So that as the formal elements you need to be accepted to the program. Now, an application form consists of more elements. Yeah. So besides, if you start an application, and then it's just by following the links, for example, if you start an application, first of all, important is that you upload the correct personal details, that you fill out the motivational statements as well, that you upload all the documents related to your study and language background, and then finally also that you kind of submit at least the contact details of 2 referees that will be contacted by the program, and that will have to kind of formulate some feedback on how they know you and what your study and your capacities are, and whether you would be a good student in the program. Now, the only thing you have to do is indicate the contact details of these referees. We advise you to, if you provide the contact details of a referee, please use the professional email addresses, not Yahoo or a Gmail email address, yeah, but the professional email addresses, because that's already a proof that this person is answering from the point of view of the institution he is allocated to. Yeah. And then also in the application form, you can indicate whether you have interest or not in one of the small scholarships we have available for students from different regions. I assume that most people will have interest, of course, but still, it's important that you kind of mark this. Yeah. So that's a full application. Now, by which time do you have to apply? Maybe also important. So if you go to the section on how to apply, for example, there you see, first of all, the procedure that is indicated. Yeah, you see also the links to the application form, and you see the deadlines and important dates. What is strange or new in this call is that we have 3 application periods. Yeah. So the first application period has started the 1st of December and will be ended on the 31st of January. So if you manage to submit your application by the 31st of January, you will already have an outcome of your application around 2-3 weeks later. So by mid-February, you will already know whether you're accepted or not to the program. Yeah. So the sooner you apply, the more certain that you are of being accepted to the program, and also the more certain you are, especially on the mobility, because very important, in your application form, you will also indicate which mobilities that you plan to take during your studies. So you have to indicate, okay, where do I want to study for my first semester, which module do I take for my second semester, and which module do I plan to take for my third semester. Yeah. So if you apply in the first round, you're accepted to the program. Yeah, and once accepted to the program, yeah, then you will be allocated to these mobilities. It can be because for certain mobilities, there's limited number of places. For example, just say at one partner, for example, for one module, there's, for example, only 10 study places. So once this is complete, yeah, this option will no longer be available. So that's why it's important. The sooner you can apply, yeah, the more sure you are that you will get the mobility that you prefer. Yeah, that's an important element regarding this element. Second round, so if you do not manage to have your application complete by the 31st of January, the second round will run until the 31st of March, so 2 months later. So if you are able to apply by the 31st of March, you will know the outcome of the application by around 15th of April. So again, 2-3 weeks later. Note that the second round is the last possibility for non-EU students to apply to the program. Yeah. So if you're a non-EU student, yeah, then you have to apply at the latest by the 31st of January, preferably, if possible, already by the 31st of January, yeah, because that guarantees you more options in terms of study freedom. Yeah. Then we still have a third round, yeah, that's for EU students, yeah, that did not manage to apply earlier, and they can apply until the 31st of May. So again, 2 months later, and that's the final call for applying to the program. Yeah. Apart from these mobility allocations, there's no big differences in the different calls. So the documents you have to provide, all the other things are all exactly the same. When are you sure that you will be studying in our program? It's quite easy. So you will, after you have been admitted to the program, you will receive an invoice for the first part of the tuition fee, an invoice of €1,000. After you have paid that first part of the invoice, you can be sure that your place in the study program is guaranteed, and we will, from that time, also consider you as a student in our program. Yeah. Good. Brings me to the next point, courses in the program. We have a lot of courses in the program, and so if you go to the website and there you go to courses, yeah, and you click on courses, there you can see the full overview of the different courses we have in the program. There's several pages. At the bottom, you can scroll from one page to another. Now, what is more interesting, because there's a lot of courses and looking at each course can be quite time-consuming, is on top of the page you have a selector, yeah, where you can actually indicate per university or per module, for example, or per semester, for example, what the different courses are, or you can even search for a keyword. So if you want to follow a course on fish, you just type in the keyword fish, and then you will see that both in the second semester and the third semester courses are available that relate to fish, from fish nutrition to fisheries management to, and on the basis of this, for example, because every course also, if you further click on a course, yeah, you will see that every course also includes a course description, or includes also the number of credits, for example, for the course, and an indication of the university where it's held. So important for you to use this kind of tool to explore what the actual courses are that you may expect in the program. Many courses also will include some indication. Okay, is there field work included? What further elements? And normally we plan to have, let's say, full descriptions online. Somewhere by mid-February, I would think, where we have a full PDF also on how is a course assessed, for example, how many time do you need to spend on a course, etc., etc., etc. So that's coming up very soon. If you want to learn more about the different partners in the program, then you can actually explore them via going to IMBRSea, the main menu item, and there clicking on the university where you want to go and study. And there you will see, okay, who is the local coordinator, what's the addresses, for example. But more interesting is that you will also find there general information on housing, what is the cost of living at a certain university and studying at a certain university. So all these elements as well. Talking about costs, maybe not unimportant is that the study program has, of course, a cost. And so the tuition or the participation fee for EU students comes to 3,500 euro per year. Non-EU students will pay 4,500 euro per year. Now, what is included in that participation cost? Yeah, first of all, your registration to all the universities where you will study. So independently of the study track you follow, you will not have to pay additional for registration to the university. Secondly, your participation to 2 annual symposia is included in the participation fee. And thirdly, also the participation in the summer school is also included. Note, for you, also important to know is if you come, for example, to Ghent, and we do excursions, all the costs related to these excursions, like taking a bus, taking a train, field work, insurances, all these costs are also covered within the fee. So in theory, besides the participation cost for all the study program elements, unless mentioned differently, because, for example, a diving course in the Algarve, there you have to pay a small surplus because these are quite special courses with extra costs. Unless mentioned differently, there's no additional cost that you have to expect when studying the program. Of course, housing, mobility between universities is not included in the study cost. How can you also limit your costs? It's by applying to one of the grants we have. So we have different grants that are offered by the participating universities. These grants will consist of an extra reduction on the tuition fee. So if you're selected for a specific grant, then it means that your tuition fee may go down, for example, from 3,500 to only 2,500. So that's organized in this way. And the second opportunity is that once you're studying in a program, you also have the opportunity to apply for regular Erasmus mobility scholarships via the universities where you are. Important here also is that these Erasmus mobilities are a responsibility of the local universities where you study. So means also that the chance of getting an Erasmus mobility will strongly depend on the university that you select for your first semester. So, because that differs again from local regulations. In order to know more about that, we advise you to contact the local coordinators, for example, to know about chances, or you can also contact, let's say, the coordination office to give some more insight on these things. Yeah. Other elements that you have to be aware of is visa information. If you are a non-EU student, you will need visa in order to study in the program. And Louisa can witness because she has been a student in our master program. Visa are the responsibility of the students. So from the program, we provide letters, we provide extra certificates if needed, but it's not that we will ask for your visum and that we will arrange your visum. So you have to really start in time in order to apply for the correct visum and to make sure that you can start your studies in September. Yeah, so that's really important to keep this in mind. Okay, let me then finalize before we can go to questions section, but I don't see many questions. There's already at least one question that comes in that we can answer. Let me finalize by just going to the different modules maybe of the study program and the different modules. So in the second semester, yeah, you can go to the 9 different modules that are available. So you can, in the second semester, the whole the student group will be divided over 9 different universities. So in Ghent University, you will be able to follow a package of 18 credits on experimental marine ecology. And on Ancona, in the Polytechnic University of IMBRSea, you will be you have 2 different options. One is on marine conservation, and the other is on applied marine ecology. Yeah, in the University of the Algarve, you can focus on fisheries. At the University of Côte d'Azur, there will be 18 credits on marine resource valorization. And Sorbonne University, more specifically at Bagnols-sur-Mer, you can take a module on global change and functional biodiversity. Then in Bergen University, there will be a module on fisheries and fisheries management. University of Oviedo will focus on marine living resources. And finally, in the University of the Basque Country, you will be able to take a module on marine animal health. Yeah, so these are the options for the second semester. Then in the third semester, of course, you have much more options, but these options are grouped within different specialization tracks. Yeah, the first specialization track relates to fisheries and aquaculture, and in there's different options, different modules you can take. The second track is related to ocean literacy, where you have 2 different options, at least 2 different places where you can go to study the program. Then the third track is on biotechnology, different ways of approaches of biotechnology. The fourth track is analysis and forecast in marine systems, where you can do, again, different, I think 3 or 4 different modules that are offered. And finally, you can also go to take a module on applied marine ecology and conservation, for example, and that's also where you can, again, follow a number of different modules at different universities. Before I end this also, it's good to briefly mention that this master program is currently the biggest and largest international master program existing in the field of marine bioresources, not only from the point of view of number of students, because the new version of the program is ready to take up to 120, 150 students. So it has been designed to actually accommodate for a big group of students, which is also one of the key features and advances that current students indicate, is that by studying the program, you're part of a large network. But also important is that this program is organized by a big consortium. Yeah, a big consortium where we have Ghent University, which is the coordinating university. We have University of the Algarve in Portugal. Then we have 2 Spanish universities, University of Oviedo and University of the Basque Country. We have 1 Irish university, is Galway Mayo Institute of Technology in Galway. 1 Italian, which is Polytechnic University of the IMBRSea. We have 3 French universities, Sorbonne University, where the courses take place at the marine stations, so not in Paris, but at the marine stations. University of the Côte d'Azur, which is located in Nice, and then also University of Western Brittany, which is located in Brest. And then finally, we have also, that's a new university that has been added, it's University of Gothenburg in Sweden. So we take there the summer school, but University of Gothenburg will also offer 2 modules in the 3rd semester, where you can go back and study more. The master program is also supported, and you can see this at the bottom of the homepage, by, first of all, Erasmus Mundus. Yeah, so it fits in the scheme of Erasmus Mundus, although for the coming year, we do not have Erasmus Mundus support grants. So that's a pity. We hope from next year onwards, again, to have funding for Erasmus Mundus to offer more additional grants, study grants. As a compensation, each university at least offered this year small supporting grants in order to convince you to really study in this program. But also the program is supported by a big research infrastructure, IMBRSea, which is the European Marine Biological Resource Center, which is the main kind of research infrastructure for marine biological resources currently existing in Europe, and which unites a network of up to 30 different marine institutes and research centers all over Europe. Yeah, and by being supported by this network, you also will have the opportunity actually to take your professional practice or a thesis research, for example, at one of those partners, so partners of the IMBRSea network, but also at the other partners associate partners of our network, because in total, currently we have about 100 associate partners in the full network, so which are located all over the world. So it's you can study with an international group of students, but at the same time, you also have the opportunity to really go international for your own study track. Good. That as an introduction, let us now go to the questions, and it's good to see that at least there is already 2 questions that have been posted. So the first question is, what do you need to upload in the section a score for the test when you still don't have a language test yet? Good question. In that section, you can set, for example, you can just set, okay, scores still to be obtained. Yeah, and you can, as a proof section, you can upload a Word document or kind of a screen capture that shows, for example, that you have been registered for taking a test, for example, and that should be enough. So provide a document that clearly shows that you will be taking the test very soon. Yeah. Second question comes from Christiana. How many different positions exist at each university for each module semester? On the website, just the percentage of spots that are available. I maybe give this question to one of the
we
colleagues.
can add that.
Yeah.
We can put that.
Yeah. Can you give maybe indicative numbers for some of the more the ranges? I think for the first semester we can Ghent, for example.
Yeah, 30.
Yeah, that's around 30, but for some modules in the third semester, it's maybe only 10. Yeah. And that's the thing we can indeed add to the website, so it's clearer what are your chances of getting a certain position, a certain study track. Yeah. Another question from Christiana. What pathways exist for students to connect with research groups for the thesis work? Is this sole responsibility of the students to find a thesis? Again, a good question on which we didn't say anything yet. So what we do, we ask our associate partners during the first semester already, actually, to come up with a catalog of potential thesis research for which they might invite students in the second year. Yeah. So that catalog is an indication for you as a student, okay, to say, if I contact lab A or B, I'm for sure, there will be positions there, or they will have interesting thesis research positions in a certain area. But important also to mention is that it's not restrictive, in the sense that if you have an idea yourself that is not in that catalog, you can also contact the research institutions yourself, and propose an own topic together with a supervisor. So for thesis research, you have the full freedom, because we believe as a program that a thesis research is important, that it is a topic of research that you can develop yourself, of course, in collaboration with a good supervisor, and that you have there, because people are much more kind of motivated if they can do a research that fits within their personal interest. On the contrary, it's maybe also the ideal opportunity to mention that for the professional practice, this is not the case. For the professional practice, you will also be offered a catalog of different opportunities from which you have to select. These are well-described opportunities that are available. And it's important to know that you cannot come up there with an own idea that you have, but you have to really to select from this catalog. So that's a big difference. So professional practice, you select from a catalog, while for thesis research, you have much more freedom to actually design a project yourself. Note that also during the studies, you will be taught at the different universities by professors that are researchers as well, and that can also guide you to find the right locations. We also have a student board. We have a program board that is always willing to help. So By being part of the program, actually, by default, you're connected to a lot of different institutions, different people that can help you out to find a topic. Next question, yeah. Hello, and thank you for taking time for us. Will there be a disadvantage for students that send in their application later? Well, the disadvantage is quite clear, as we have, so mobility will be decided at the application stage. So the sooner you apply, so if you apply in the first range, you have more chance of getting the mobility you wish to apply for. For the rest, let's say in terms of acceptance on the basis of diploma or language, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter whether you apply the first run or the later run. Yeah. Christiana has also another question. Is there a way to see what transferable skills courses are available at each university? Just look to the people here. What the status is.
The website,
yeah, it's not on the website yet, and we will ask the different partner universities. For a number of universities, we have the overview. We will make sure it's added, let's say, in the coming days. But for a number of universities like Ancona or Galway, we do not have a full certainty, so full confirmation yet. So before putting things online, we want to really be sure, but in the coming days, we will add something on that and also make sure that it's shared on one of our communication channels, like YouTube, for example, like Facebook, or maybe tweet can also be sent out when these are online. More questions? Maybe good to know is also that this recording will also be online on the YouTube channel afterwards. So if you were not able to be live or at the same time as us, for example, then you can also watch this webinar in a later stage. Yeah, I see there is another question. Are the courses for the first semester the same for each university? Yes, as I mentioned in the beginning. So the courses that are offered in the first semester are the following. So everybody will follow marine ecology, oceanography. We have one course on marine genomics. We have a course on quantitative methods in marine science. And finally, also a GIS course. Yeah. So these courses are for everyone. And one course on marine policy and governance, more legal aspects related to marine science. Yeah. So these courses, the course outlines, if you look at the website, yeah, are exactly the same for each university. Learning outcomes will be the same. Yeah. But if you follow the course Marine Ecology in Belgium, fieldwork will be at the Belgian seaside, for example, where you go to do a beach transect, for example, and some exercises on that. While if you're in Faro in the Algarve, probably you will do some field work and the local environment, the Ria Formosa. So again, it depends then, let's say these kind of elements depend, of course, on the local area where you will study. Yeah. If no more questions, yeah. Then actually we would like to thank you for being present. And let's say if you have more things that come up, more doubts, feel free to send us an email or to contact us directly by phone as well. You find the contact details on the website, and one of the team members will be very keen to answer you. Keep in mind that between Christmas and New Year, the office will be closed. We also make a message on this. So mostly we try to answer within a few days at the latest the requests that come in, the emails that come in. If you have a specific personal situation you want to have a chat on, or even a Skype discussion on, that's also possible. Maybe good also to follow our social media that we have. We have a Facebook page, we have a Twitter account, we have, of course, also the YouTube channel that you can follow here, but also the news will appear on our website at the bottom. So keep an eye on these things. As soon as new elements are added to the website, for example, new information is available, this will be posted there as well. mid-January, we can organize the second webinar. So if you were not able to follow this first one, we can do a second webinar, for example, and to again give the opportunity to people to answer questions. There's a more, okay. There's a remark coming in. Very nice. Thank you very much. That's indeed how we were planning to close this, by wishing you Merry Christmas, a good end of the year, and of course, a very good start of 2020. And we hope, of course, that we will meet in person, somewhere in September 2020. We would be really happy with this. Okay, thank you very much, and see you later. Good luck with your applications.
Bye.
Bye-bye.